Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tech Economist. People are still talking about Tesla's competition. Firstly, the fact that they say Tesla's competition rather than EV competition just goes to show that Tesla is the real benchmark. Tesla is EVs, and people know that. But we hear about people praising the competition and saying that Tesla's designs are getting more dated, with other more modern new EV models out on the market. When Tesla came out with the Model S over 10 years ago, they were so far ahead in every way. But now we're hearing famous car reviewers, even highly popular ones from YouTube, tell us that the competition has caught up, because Tesla hasn't shown us anything new for so long, and that their competitive advantage has eroded significantly. They're saying that Tesla are no longer the only EVs that offer long range, high performance, or self-driving, and the others have caught up. The Cybertruck is late. Rivian, Ford and GM have already released pickup trucks, whilst we've been waiting for the launch. They say that we have Polestar trying to compete with the Model 3, obviously Rivian with the pickup truck, Lucid with the long-range luxury vehicle. This is what they're saying. But these are car reviewers, just looking at the cars themselves. They're not investors who understand how a financial statement works. Lucid, Rivian and Polestar still lose money, and will possibly not even last a decade for all we know. Not to mention the sheer low amount of actual units they're producing relative to Tesla. And look how long it's taking them to ramp up. People complain about how old the Tesla Model 3 looks. It's been out for 6 years now. But the Polestar 2 has also been out for 4 years now. Except the Polestar has only produced 50,000 units in 2022, and the Model 3 was about 10 times that many. So despite these other EVs that supposedly look more modern when they're launched, they're also starting to date, except the difference is they haven't sold many vehicles in the meantime, and they also went for more current designs at the time, which means they will age faster, unlike Tesla's timeless design. Oh, and they aged after not even selling 100,000 units, compared to Tesla in the millions. But where will the real competition come from, these reviewers are asked. It's going to be legacy autos. Now they're putting some serious effort and enormous amounts of capital behind them as they move into that space. Not these small little EV startups. They even said that the Mustang Mach-E is a very competitive car to the Model Y, and GM and Ford are committed to an electric strategy that is going to make them continually bang on Tesla's doors over the next few years. Wow, this is what the so-called experts think. Well, experts in the car consumer market. This might be what the general market also thinks as well. This is reassuring. It's like Tesla is currently under the radar right now, perhaps appearing weak when they are strong like Sun Tzu. Let the competition think what they want. Tesla know what Tesla know, and the competition know what they know. It all seems so moot though, as no one else can scale at any production rate close to Tesla, or at the cost of Tesla, especially like for like. Sure, BYD are doing well, but they're not making close to the same amount of gross profit per vehicle as Tesla, even after Tesla have recently lowered their prices. Plus, the BYD vehicles are some of the worst I've driven. Okay, granted, it would appear a lot of people don't seem to care that much about driving experience, but the Polestar was a lot better than the BYD. Tesla, though, is still better than all electric legacy vehicles I've driven, like Hyundai Ioniq 5 or even the BMW iX. I'm talking about actual driving and handling of the car. Tesla understand what it means by designing a car electric up, everything designed around the battery and taking advantage of that added benefits of safety and handling. Then, of course, Tesla having a relatively lighter weight battery for the same amount of range adds to improved handling. I mean, Legacy are making progress though. The Mach-E now offers 312 miles of range. This is getting close to the Model Y's 330 miles. Ford are achieving this though with an additional 13 kilowatt hours of battery compared to the Model Y. So Legacy are able to offer similar specs close to the amount of range, big screens, perhaps other refinements that Tesla don't even offer, and a more modern design that some car consumers actually think looks better than a Tesla. But think about this. How many Tesla owners are actually tempted to sell their Tesla because they would rather have a Polestar or a Mach-E? Do you think that's a thing? Would many Tesla owners actually want to go back to not having a smart car? Not only that, Teslas are becoming lower cost than these competitors now. The Mach-E is $58,000 in the US, compared to the Model Y long range at $55,000. And obviously the Tesla comes with a much higher level of features as standard. But it's a similar price range with similar battery range, so perhaps it is a close competitor. Perhaps Ford have done a reasonably good job getting this close to the Model Y. It's a better job than anyone else has done. And I'm sure Ford at least drives reasonably well, unlike the BYD. The Ioniq 5 also is in a similar price range as the Model Y at $56,600 for the all-wheel drive version, although just 266 miles of range. So again, Ford is actually offering a superior EV compared to even Hyundai. But really, what actually matters here where it counts? What is real EV competition? Assuming we totally ignore the technology of Tesla being a smart car that is the furthest ahead with FSD, which again, similar critics are saying that the competition has also caught up on. So comparing EV to EV, what matters? It's not the price tag or the design, it's the cost and production. Ford still only managed to produce 40,000 Mach-E's last year. I don't know if it's cell constrained or struggling to work out volume production for EVs, but Tesla did about 20 times that number of Model Ys last year. So how is that competition? Ford are supposedly still making a net loss on their Mach-E. How is that competition when Tesla is showing record profits compared to any other crossover on the market today? No one has more gross profit per vehicle than Tesla on a sedan or crossover. BYD are getting there, but that's because they've worked out to leave the most basic minimal features of a car that leaves you with a car that a large enough market segment don't actually mind. Some people don't care if it has a nice stereo or good brakes, can corner well, drive itself, and many other qualities that these cheap Chinese vehicles lack from what a lot of people do expect. If Legacy plan on really ramping up EVs like they suggest, then they're not going to be able to do it at the same price point as Tesla. They're not showing any signs of how they'll achieve that. Yes, hitting volume production, partnering with battery companies, and using some new manufacturing techniques will all help reduce costs. And with the tax credit, Legacy may even be able to get close to parity against some of their ICE vehicles. But they're not going to be able to profitably hit Tesla's price points unless they take on some serious losses. And Legacy need to make profits on their EV sales, as there's very little profit in aftermarket engine maintenance and servicing when it comes to EVs. The fact that we're being told that Tesla's competition is here and this is it, and that there will be more Legacy competition on the way, actually makes me very bullish. For one, it means that Legacy are presumably acknowledging that electric vehicles are the future and seeing their ICE sales dwindle as a result, and realise it's so bad they have no choice but to transition as best as they possibly can. And some of their customers will still buy their vehicles over a Tesla. It's true, we're seeing people buying Mach-E's. Tesla will still leave gaps in the market. For example, there'll probably only be 1 million Model Ys sold a year in the US. There's plenty of room for more competition. Legacy Autos do a lot of market research and want to know what their customers want, which would be what Henry Ford ironically said was a faster horse. Whereas Tesla had incredible engineers who make stuff that no one realised they wanted in the first place, or was even possible. Anyway, Legacy market research has shown that consumers are headed in the direction of electric, and as prices keep coming down and incentives go up, they become a more affordable option for many. And some Legacy autos are finding electric very feasible for their brand, like the more prestige brands such as Porsche and Mercedes. The additional cost of the batteries is covered by the additional cost consumers pay for their brand. And then the other side of that is the fact that if this is what credible people think means caught up to Tesla is, it might mean that Wall Street is perhaps equally as oblivious as to the state of Tesla's lead relative to the rest of the industry. And although Tesla haven't really launched any new models for some time, think of how much more of a company Tesla has become since then, and what a giant leap we might expect for Tesla's Gen 3 vehicle. Just about when Ford might actually be catching up to a 2017 Model 3, at least an EV, not a smart car, Tesla will rewrite the industry again and absolutely destroy it with a $25,000 electric car. I think these reviewers are too focused on looking at the vehicle design and features, as that's what they do. They can't see the forest for the trees. Just because Ford has a range in the same ballpark as Tesla doesn't mean they've caught up. Just because Ford released a popular electric pickup truck before Tesla doesn't mean they've caught up. Designing new EVs is not catching up with Tesla. Catching up with Tesla is about rethinking manufacturing on a massive scale, building gigafactories, using structural battery packs, front and rear castings, and then of course, Tesla now leapfrogging ahead with that Gen 3 parallel unboxed manufacturing process. Now, if I was seeing Legacy Auto attempting any of that, then I might classify that as catching up. Aside from that, all we see GM and Ford catching up on is what Tesla was doing back in 2015, building Giga Nevada with Panasonic, only 8 years behind. Don't be too distracted by legacy auto's attempts of making you think they're catching up. Tesla is still in a league of its own. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.